Gaming. Everybody likes video games. I mean, who doesn't?
I really like video games, and I'm starting to realize I only really talk about one on this channel. So I decided for a change, I'd talk about one of my favorite games.
Specifically, Donkey Kong Country. This game is very good.
So for a while I'd wanted to make some video on another game I like other than Geometry Dash, but I couldn't figure out a game I wanted to do it on, because most of my favorite games I don't feel like I could quite do justice to quite yet. I was also thinking about doing one on Donkey Kong Country 2, but the problem with that is that I haven't beaten it yet. Even though I personally think Donkey Kong Country 2 is a better game, as proven by Diddy Kong spitting such bars as... Either way, Donkey Kong Country is one of my favorite games as of right now. While to me it might not be one of the best games I've ever played, it is certainly one of the most memorable. It is a very unique title for the SNES, with most other games not even coming close to the level of graphics quality that Donkey Kong Country has, or the immersion it has within its levels, its gameplay, or its music. The graphics of Donkey Kong Country have aged so well they still stack up to some modern games, in my opinion. The pixel style looks like something you would see in a game trying to emulate a retro feel. It works really well with all of the other things in the game, and overall, the graphics carry the game a lot. Donkey Kong Country was the best-selling game in the Donkey Kong franchise, and the third best-selling game on the SNES in general. I think this is partially due to the quality of the graphics. As an article from Honest Gamer says, the environments you travel through look simply gorgeous. It's difficult not to be impressed by the glittering crystals of the ice cave in the snow world, or the blizzard effect in the level immediately before it. I think Donkey Kong's atmosphere is better than a lot of recent games, in fact. I dare say that Donkey Kong Country and Breath of the Wild's atmosphere and world building might even be comparable, due to the quality of the environments Donkey Kong plays in, yet still staying true to the SNES and feeling like a retro game. Just to show you how amazing the graphics were, especially for the time, Donkey Kong Country was released in 1994. Here are some other games released in 1994. Another key factor to Donkey Kong Country is the amazing music that is in the game. The music in Donkey Kong Country, composed by David Wise, Robin Beanland, and Eveline Fisher, is some of the best music of any video game of its time. There's only one game released in 1994 that I think has better music than Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country is also incredibly satisfying to play, using barrels and vines to create gameplay that is more fun than it is challenging most of the time. There are levels in the game that you can beat without ever letting go of the move button, which is really useful for things like speedrunning and for general game enjoyment. The game is also very long, which makes it much more entertaining to play because you never really run out of gameplay. Even after you've beaten the entire game, there are tons of secrets and other things hidden throughout the levels to find, and once you complete those, speedrunning the game is also viable for even more replayability. The other thing I want to bring up is the final boss against King K. Rool, in which the game actually makes the boss die, but then he gets back up and continues fighting, separating the boss into two phases and tricking players. All in all, Donkey Kong Country is one of my favorite games on the SNES and one of the most memorable games that I've beaten. It was quite fun to play and overall is a very good game and I would recommend trying it out.